Why, hello everyone. Thank you for clicking on this video. Today I want to talk about a square grand piano. As we have right here, a Waters & Sons square grand. This is from the year of 1877. I was told originally that it was from 1886 until I pulled out my action here. And we see it's really very rough to see. I think these are the original pencil markings from the time period. Built the 28th of August, 1877, and I had actually contacted the antique piano shop off of YouTube and on their website because they specialize in restorations, and I was interested in, I inquired about maybe potentially having my piano restored here, and it's a bit pricey, but what they do is they basically just gut the instrument and do an entire action rebuild, an entire restringing, a pin block restoration, everything you need to have done to a piano to make it properly playable and operational. So this piano is in original unrestored condition, minus the fact that it was restrung. This was probably something done in the 50s or 60s because for some reason square pianos were dealt with at that point. They had, things happened to them. They were kind of brought back for a little bit, a brief period in history. What I'm showing you here is the pins that were installed. You can sort of see them underneath the lid here. The pins are the standard tuning pins that we have now. Other square pianos might have thicker ones, thinner ones. Traditionally, there were these little tiny flat things, so you need a specialized wrench for that. But I want to show everyone what this piano sounds like, what this piano can do. I am a pianist myself. I've been playing for almost 20 years of my life, and this is so much different from your traditional grand piano. I mean, first off, it's a rectangle. It's a square grand. It's rectangular. The strings are from left to right, not traditionally from the player to the back, sort of like a harpsichord. This is modeled after the clavichord, which comes as basically an early, one of the earliest keyed instruments we have, but it's also the square, and it's also the sort of premise for the harpsichord, which then turned into a piano. So there's a lot of evolution here. This piano is tuned to around A430, A432-ish, give or take. Historically, these instruments were tuned to around A435 in 1877. And I see a lot of people that have their square pianos tuned to standard pitch, which unfortunately is really not good for the instrument because that much tension, because this is roughly 7 feet, and as old as the instruments are, even if they're restored, you really shouldn't tune them to a standard pitch unless it's some miraculously, very strong piano. And unfortunately, I've had a few friends who've contacted me about their square pianos from around 1820, and someone had tuned them to standard pitch, and it actually cracked the sides here, which is what we do not want to have happen. So this piano holds A432 comfortably, which I was very surprised. The keys themselves are original. You can see sort of like where there's beginnings of little, sort of where the paint here is starting to rub off, but this is in the most original condition of the keys that we have possible. I have original key heads as well, from the 1870s. I have one here. This came with the piano inside. I need to get a new shank here because there's no pieces that I can put together that will go back to the key. So the really interesting thing is that they used the soft felts here. They didn't use our standard, not hard, but just tougher felts. And they did use that, if we take a seat here, right under this G above middle C. So right here is the G. You can hear a slight difference than if we go down to our F sharp here, or G flat. So you can sort of make out that difference, and if you pull out the action, you can see it for yourself, but there is that switch here from that hard felt to the soft felts up here. piano's action has not been regulated, so this is this is often an issue. You can kind of push and it'll click it, and the key goes up and it'll pop back down. And I haven't found a single person who is willing to teach me or willing to even come out here to regulate an action. It's quite remarkable that people nowadays don't want anything to do with these instruments because they probably don't want to break them, even though I've definitely played very, very rough on this piano just to give it kind of just to see what its capabilities are. And I want to show off these upper keys here. Very angelic if you push down our sustain pedal down here. It's very like harp-like, I would say. I've got a couple keys here on I think the bridge inside was, someone dealt with it. I've seen glue spots, and these keys, unfortunately, are out of order. They just don't work. My C right here, the hammer itself just fell off. I think while putting the action inside, it's one of the hardest things to do with this instrument, and that key unfortunately is broken right now, but I still have the head, so I can restore that, glue it up and tighten it, make it all pretty and sound good. I'm gonna play a little bit for you guys here. I'm gonna hope that my camera is gonna stay here, just to give you a little sense of what this piano sounds like. And you have to remember that it is not restored. It doesn't, it wasn't properly done. The keys are the same, this is give or take a few years, this might be sort of how it sounded back in the 1870s. And I'm very big on waltzes myself when I play the piano, so I'll play a little bit of some waltz here. How about like this? So you can hear that in the piano itself, it just sounds it has this magnificent little sound. I made up that song a few days ago, just playing and puttering around, and I like the way it goes up and it goes down with this. The piano itself echoes in this beautiful just array of sound here. And, I think everyone should have a square piano in their life. They are massive. I'm standing in this room here, and it's a very large instrument. It's just sort of, it's awkward to move. It's a heavy thing from the turn of the century, but the overall aspect of a square piano it's phenomenal. So I would recommend everyone get one. And if you do have one, I would highly suggest do not tune it to 440. It just, as much as people really want to do that, it doesn't sound as pleasant on this, just knowing the fact that it could break your entire instrument. So I hope everyone likes this little blurb of piano stuff here, and yeah, get yourself a square grand, guys. It's amazing.